now is, if I'm the good cop and you're the bad cop, what is Brian Logan?
That's a great question.
What is Brian Logan in this mix?
That's interesting, man. Maybe the
swag cop?
Oh, the swag cop. Thank you, man. I was gonna say small cop, but I didn't really know where it fed in. So yeah, I like the swag cop
or mall cop.
The mall cop.
What's his name? Paul Blart.
That's Jason Shepard.
I don't like mall. That is Shep right there.
You
yeah.
mean the gym cop?
Oh man, the upper body.
Yeah, the
cop.
upper body cop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it's good to have you in Studio B, man. We don't get to hang out all three of us in the studio at the same time very often.
We had to come make history again, man. It's kind of weird being in this angle. Like the desk is all weird. It's like pushed out a little bit. It's kind of awkward, but I mean, I'm happy to see you guys.
You don't have your computer in front of you?
Yeah.
Do you want a computer?
Oh, no, I got my phone.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not on,
it's a
but
small computer.
It's, I'm just freestyling. All the pressure's on you guys right now. I'm a guest, so.
Oh, that is true.
Bring it. We live
love
for
the
this.
pressure.
Have you caught the elusive Big 12 Pokemon? Yeah.
Nope. I didn't know there was.
Neither has Brigham.
I didn't know there was a Pokemon. Hey, man. I've been doing really well with Pokemon. I'm on level 19 now. All my friends are about 23, and they just came up with an update yesterday with the app. And when it updated, it had my work email. So I thought I lost it, and I was like, I'm never playing it. I almost started crying, man. I was like, no!
Wait.
What happened?
All of your friends are 23 years old, or they're on level 23?
Both. Alani Fua came, and we were Pokemoning it up, and we had I live on Sleepy Ridge Golf Course, so it was like 2:00 in the morning, and no lie, he was like, a Bulbasaur, let's go get it. And we got on. I hope nobody's listening, but we got in my car, and it's so small that we were driving on the golf course.
You hope no one's listening?
Trying to, nobody on Sleepy Ridge.
We might be on at Sleepy Ridge.
I mean,
hello to everyone at Sleepy
Ridge. I live
Ridge.
there, so they can't really do it. Like, how can you really kick me out or get me in trouble?
You can't prove anything?
Yeah. But yeah, that's
you
my
can't
Pokemon.
prove anything. I just said I was driving
but
on
they
the
can't
course.
prove it.
See, what I meant to say was...
I admitted to
driving. We were driving our bikes. That's my Pokemon story.
Hey, let me know when we get back from break.
Brian Logan and Alani Fu are riding their bikes on a golf course searching for Pokemon.
Yep.
What is this world?
We were in my car, actually.
Is it? Yeah,
it
in your
my
car.
car.
Is Alani? Is he in Arizona now?
Yeah, he's back in.
I was like, he's
a
a little busy this time of year, right?
No, he's back in now, and trying to stay on the roster. But yeah, wish him all the best. And maybe I think we're still talking about it, right? Me or you guys or some of us, all of us going out for the first game. That's kind of a hint.
Countdown to kickoff.
I'm asking.
Listen, countdown to kickoff will be there. That's a guarantee.
Okay, great.
That countdown to kickoff will be there.
The whole crew is going to be there.
I didn't say that.
David
countdown
Nixon,
to kickoff will be represented.
Myself.
Brian.
I'm just trying to get there, man. Just trying to get there.
Clearly.
we would advise not begging on air.
You know how many Pokemon are going to be in Arizona? Oh, my gosh.
How are you handling all of this Big 12 discussion, by the way? Are you buying in?
I'm not, man. I'm kind of waiting for something to actually finalize. You hear so many things back and forth. And I got a lot of people just in the community that are like, Big 12? Big 12? Big 12? What do you think? And I'm like, you tell me, man. You'll know more than me right now because I'm just waiting for the big news to actually hit. I mean, it's fun. It's kind of exciting to see where BYU could potentially land. But I just think there's so many moving parts, man. It's hard to really get excited one day. I don't want to go through that roller coaster ride. I just want to be consistent,
Our Twitter question is this, Brian. Would you like to see the Big 12 Conference expand by 2 or 4 teams, and why?
I would say 4 teams because it's a lot funner when you have more people. When you have more teams, you have more opportunities for rivalries. I think just with college football and the first initial shift, it was fun to see people and teams go here, go there, and kind of split up. And so I think it'll just bring another level of excitement from a realignment, experience.
This would be unprecedented because it's 4 teams, up to 4 teams outside of Power 5 conferences. During the last realignment, I believe it was only TCU and Utah, correct, that made the jump up.
Yeah.
So 4 at one time?
Yeah.
That would be is there not an argument, or in your mind, like where you're like, yeah, it'd be fun to have more teams, but is it diluted at that point? I don't see any way that it's not.
We don't care though about the dilution. That's not our problem to
Yeah,
worry about.
yeah.
Of course it's going to be diluted.
Yep.
It's non-Power 5. Like
Yep.
that's just.
Is it good for college football?
But
is what I'm asking.
There you go.
Is it good for college football?
It'll be deleted for a little bit of time. I don't know how long, but eventually those teams will get more talented players. If you go and sit into a kid's room and you say, look, I am a part of the Big 12 conference. We're a Power 5 school. That's going to ring some bells, right? And so now you're starting able to compete. Maybe it's a little bit harder because, for a school like Houston that's in Texas, where a kid may want to go to a Texas, right, or a bigger school, a TCU, rather than Houston. But you still grab higher talent than you did before, so that your school gets better and then the overall product gets better. So it's going to take time, but eventually it'll happen. Look at BYU and Independence, right, compared to the Mountain West. Look how many more top-tier recruits that BYU has gotten over the years because of how appealing Independence has been.
Yeah, I wonder about that too, because I think BYU has been similar talent from the end of the Mountain West days, which those were some good teams. And your senior year was that last year in the Mountain West. I think BYU's been pretty. I think BYU was pretty talented 06, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Maybe a touch more talented in terms. I don't know. It's hard to gauge. You see the wins, you see the schedule, and then you try and gauge the talent. I think BYU's been similar.
The hard part is this: you got to look at the facts, and you got to look at the opportunities that these kids are getting to go to the next level. Right? There's way more of these kids that are getting free agent opportunities. May not draft it, right?
Because of exposure.
Because of exposure. See, and that's the thing. It's is it because the exposure? Is that why they are having more opportunities, or is it the actual talent, right? Because if we played in front of ESPN, 20 million times a season, I think a lot more of our guys would have had opportunities as well. So it really depends. But when you look at how guys are rated and how they're coming in and kind of just the hype, right? I think guys are a lot more excited. Fans are a lot more excited about the past recruiting classes than in 2006, 2007, 2008. And I'm not 100% sure because I came in 2009, but I would assume that.
If we had a signing day special in 06, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, there were more NFL draft picks from BYU when there was less exposure in the 80s, right? There were more, and those were better teams, more talented. I think the culture and the tradition was different.
At the end of the day,
if BYU's in the Big 12, they'll get better talent.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and they're going up against top-tier talent as well. That's another thing that scouts look at is, well, if you're in the Mountain West and you're playing Wyoming, Colorado State, oh, my 10-year-old niece can do that stuff. But if you're playing against Texas and TCU, these top-ranked schools, well, and you're beating them, you're putting up these amazing numbers. Well, you gotta have some talent as well. But in the day, this is what I've heard growing up my whole life. If you are good, they will find you, no matter what. All the odds that are against you, that's irrelevant. Throw it away. If you do what you gotta do, if you're good, you will stand out.
Year 6 of Independence begins in a little over a month. This under Kalani Sitake in his first year as head coach at BYU. And at the end of this week, fall camp opens up. I repeat, there will be actual football happening to a degree in Provo, Utah, featuring BYU players. So when that happens, when that starts, Brian, what are you watching for most on day one?
Well, first, I'm trying to see if, I guess it's a bad time to ask, but are we able to go to practice and camp and see? I know the last few years it was kind of
Brian,
sketch.
Brian, you just walk around with Spencer. You can get wherever you want.
Oh, you're right. I just need Spencer with me.
What do you think I've been doing for almost 3 years?
I need Spencer in the airport with me, man. That's right. The airport is
VIP lounges.
You couldn't walk through.
Then I need to go. You know who this guy is right here? Get me through these gates.
This guy's 40.
I would say the biggest thing that I'm looking at is identity, man. Every year I've always looked at either a position group that maybe is weak or taking a look at a certain player that I'm really excited to watch. But I really think it's got to be the identity of the team. And you could even break that down, offensively, defensively. I want to see the identity of the offense. We say, or we've heard the coaches say that we're gonna, be disciplined. We're gonna run. We're gonna run the ground. We're gonna pound it. Defensively, we're gonna keep everything in front of us, and we're gonna be assignment sound, et cetera, et cetera. But how is this team going to mold and shape together? How are those two pieces going to come together? Are they going to be a smash mouth team? Or are they going to be a team that has swag and a little bit more finesse and athletic? I want to know what these teams are, or what this team is going to be. And the crucial factor is, if you know who you are, you can then going into game plans and going into your weekly opponents, know how your strengths and your weaknesses really match up against your opponents. So it's difficult to do that if you're in week 5 and you're like, well, I'm not sure who we want to be, who we think we are, whatever the case is.
You speak from experience, because in 2010, that identity initially was Jake Keep's arm. And then that identity became Brian Correa and JJ Luigi rushing the ball.
Yep.
How quickly
then it came the defense.
and the defense.
Yes.
How quickly do you think you'll be able to tell what BYU is?
I think the first thing that you have to really look at is the practice style of the coaches, because Coach Mendenhall was like, we are gonna outwork everybody. That and we may not be the most talented, but we are gonna be hardworking and we're gonna be physical. And so during camp, right when we got shoulder pads and helmets, we were smacking each other, like smacking with a SHM.
Okay.
Smacking each other.
Okay.
And so you saw the physical aspect of what he was preaching. And then from a hustle and hard work, when we went to go get water, we had to run. When we went and got stretched and we had to I'm like, I pulled my hamstring. I can't run, coach. But we were always hustling, always running. And if we weren't, hit the fence and come back. So as fans and analysts, they saw, wow, okay, these guys are hardworking and these guys are very physical. So I think it won't be solidified until probably week, maybe 2, 3, hopefully faster. But I think we can see and get a sense and an idea of what the coaching staff wants it to be, based off how they're running the practice.
I know a lot of things will be determined in the coming weeks, fall camp, roster movement, all of that. But what will the starting secondary be for BYU on September 3rd against Arizona?
That's hard, man. I knew you're going to ask me that question. I honestly, it's up in the air for me. And it should be for the coaching staff as well. It should be for the players. If I'm a second string guy or a third string guy coming off my mission, it's anything goes, man. It's because you have a new coaching staff, because you have a new system as well. I mean, you don't really know how guys are really going to play, how they're going to really receive all of the schemes. You don't really know if your skill set personally really fits into the new scheme and what the coaches are trying to really accomplish. And then I think, corner and the secondary, the benefit that you have as a coach and even as a player is, I want certain guys in certain positions in the secondary based off of my front seven. So if I have, a strong front seven, well, maybe I can be a little bit weaker in the secondary. Or if I have a weak front seven, I want maybe my top tier guys in the secondary. And I know with Coach Mendenhall, we ran a lot more man my senior year, just because, and a lot more single high safety. Instead of having 2 safeties, we had 1 safety. And that was to help the front seven because they were getting ran all over. So it really depends. And again, if they're in that situation, I remember with having a single high, you want to drop Andrew Rich down because he was more physical. He led the team in tackles in 2010 as a senior, as a safety, and that's because to give that additional help. But hey, I got a good corner in Brian and Brandon, so I can go ahead and do that. So I think a lot of it has to do with the front seven as well.
Brian Logan, ladies and gentlemen, in Studio B. Doesn't happen often with Jeremy and myself back on the show. Good to have you, man.
Dang, that was fast, man.
That was fast, right?
That's how we roll, bro.
I want to stay another segment. Shoot. I'll leave, though.
Our Twitter question today. Thank you, Brian. Would you like to see the Big 12 Conference expand by 2 or 4 teams, and why? At DYoung1993 says 4 because it's a larger margin of error for BYU to get in.
That's my opinion as well.
Coming up, would you rather BYU beat Michigan State or Utah in 2016? Plus, more of your tweets on preference of Big 12 expansion. 2 or 4 teams, people.